The growing number of students emerging as leaders in the calls for gun reform has reached campus as members of the TED-Ed Club are working to educate their peers on the complex issue.
I feel like students in the school could benefit from more of like a political awareness discussion. Like instead of making this like a debate, we can make it a way for people to be exposed to opposite sides, since a lot of people are prone to just seeing their own side and not willing to look at something from another person's perspective. So I think this discussion would really help other people look at things from different perspectives.
Senior Parker Butler is arguing for better restrictions on gun ownership.
I just want it to be an open-ended discussion. I want different sides to be engaged. I know it's not a black and white issue. You know, there's a lot of gray area. And I want to engage that because I think there's a lot of misinformation. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of fallacies in the debate. And I think it's important to set the record straight and make it clear why it's so important that we have gun reform in this country.
On the other side of the debate, junior Chris Yu is arguing for changes that protect students and Second Amendment rights.
I understand that people are scared and there's a lot of emotion involved. Unfortunately, because I feel like there is that aspect, people kind of jump too far into how much they want to restrict guns. And unfortunately, I believe that they're missing a few key points that are causing their position to be slightly a little too extreme, I feel. And so hopefully we can find that common ground and achieve that understanding tomorrow.
The discussion comes right as some students are preparing to walk out on Friday as part of a national walkout to call for better firearm regulations.
Before the walkout, obviously a lot of people are still very wishy-washy about doing the walkout, or they think that the walkout is going to put them in trouble. I think that this discussion is going to promote an idea of how they feel about gun discussion, so they won't just feel biased. Like, since this discussion is looking at both sides, it's looking at pro-guns and anti-guns, so I think this will just give the opportunity for students to understand how they feel about guns and whether or not they will want to participate in the walkout.
Regardless of which side of the issue students fall on, both Butler and Yu think it's important for students to be aware of problems in their community.
We as a generation, we are going to outlive generations that are currently in power. And as you know, we sort of come of age and gain that responsibility, it's important for us to be aware of those things. So if students are involved, I can guarantee you, if you have a high turnout of young people in an election, you're going to have a severe difference in the results. And it's going to, I would argue, be for the better, because I think students engaged in democracy will really change, and I think you'll see a lot more change happening as opposed to what we're seeing right now.
Having teens pioneer things is actually relatively new, and I think that's really awesome, especially since our generation is kind of the generation that likes to take initiative. There's definitely a problem, and I'm really glad that our generation has realized it. It's just how we're going to deal with the problem that kind of is creating this debate right now.
Today's discussion will take place in C-152 during advisory. Reporting for Wingspan TV, I'm Wade Glover.